Update 1.1.3.0 for Battlefield 6 will launch this Tuesday, December the 9th. This update delivers a broad range of fixes and refinements across Battlefield 6. There's a lot of patch notes here. I'm going to go ahead and link all of these down in the description if you want to read over everything. I'm going to go over the big changes and also the weapon changes because there's a good bit of those as well. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. They said in this update they wanted to improve soldier clarity, weapon reliability, vehicle behavior, audio consistency, and overall gameplay flow. Also some quality of life improvements across the UI and the HUD, and controller aiming options. The first thing they talked about is the limited time map, Icelock Empire State, which is a winter shrouded version of Empire State featuring frozen streets and seasonal environmental visuals. Also a limited time multiplayer and gauntlet mode, a themed event mode playable across domination, conquest, and gauntlet missions. Of course, this will be in Icelock Empire State, featuring the event limited freeze mechanic. Also, the new melee weapon, the Ice Climbing Axe, which will be unlocked through the Winter Offensive bonus path. Portal updates for Icelock Empire State is available for those to use in the supported portal experience during the event window. And also the Battle Pass for the Winter Offensive bonus path at Tier 11, the limited time reward track featuring event cosmetics, XP boosters, and the Ice Climbing Axe. It says areas of improvement for this update. One of the big ones here, of course, was audio. It says with this update, we've made a wide range of audio improvements, including a dedicated tuning pass on footsteps to make movement clearer, easier to locate, and more reliable at different distances. We also continued addressing performance and memory issues that caused sound such as footsteps or vehicle audio to drop out and fail to play. And that was a big complaint from the community. When you have a tank right beside you and it makes zero sound, that was absolutely insane. And it was something that was very broken, and luckily they have got this fixed. The same could be said, of course, for footsteps as well. Sometimes footsteps were easy to hear, and sometimes you could not hear them at all. It says these changes are part of an ongoing effort to improve the overall stability of the soundscape. While this isn't a complete overhaul, and there may still be changes to cases depending on hardware and match conditions, is a big step toward making everything more reliable and predictable when it comes to sound across the game. Now, one of the biggest changes, of course, in this update is the changes to weapons. They are reducing recoil magnitude, but increase the recoil variation on the M250, the NVO, the RPKM, the SG553R, and the SOR 300SC. These weapons now perform less effectively at long range, with the SG553R receiving the most noticeable adjustment. And I know a lot of you probably use this weapon. It is probably my personal favorite weapon in the game. I absolutely love that carbine. It's probably not going to be as good when this update comes out on Tuesday as it is right now. They also reduced the cost of the L10 and the M123K 200 round magazine from 55 to 50, and they removed the penalty to ADS movement dispersion. They tweaked the haptic feedback for weapon reloads on PS5 controllers, and they also updated melee behavior to allow players equipped with a melee weapon to choose between a takedown or a bash attack on mouse. There was a lot of other changes here. Like I said at the start, they made some changes to vehicles. A lot of it was issues and just UI behavior and problems. A few things with gadgets as well, where the gadgets weren't working as intended. But mainly it was a lot of bug fixes, back-end fixes, map and mode adjustments for conquest and escalation for the capture areas on certain maps. Also some changes for rush and for breakthrough to make sure that the MCOM placement in rush is correct on certain maps, and in breakthrough the battle pickups now spawn with their associated sectors when they're enabled, and in conquest and escalation the battle pickups will be the same. They will spawn when their associated capture points are owned by the following team. They also went in and made a few changes to the maps, removing defender vehicles in certain sectors of things like in breakthrough if you were on the attacking side or the defending side. So maps like Manhattan Bridge, Morocco Valley, New Sobek City, Operation Firestorm, Liberation Peak, Siege of Cairo, Empire State. They all got changes to how the tanks will interact depending on if you're on offense or defense. Some of the time you got things added to you when you were in Sector 1 and 3. Sometimes they did remove some of these as well, trying to make the game a little bit more balanced when it comes to just gameplay overall and breakthrough with tanks. Also, they made a few changes to the UI and the HUD. Now, unfortunately, they still have not fixed the main home screen. I don't know if that's ever going to be completely fixed. They said that at one point before the game release, they would start working on that because there's a lot of clutter there. But they did make some, just notable improvements to things like just the HUD within the game, the gadgets, also unlocking things, making it a little bit easier to understand what you're unlocking. The other thing they did make a few changes to when it came to the portal. They fixed an issue where squad mates in the portal did not display class identifiers on the insertion screen. They also fixed issues with how the voiceover for the alpha flag, regardless of the flag specified by the script. They have also been making some changes to Portal, and I'm sure you've seen it on the home screen now, to where it's showing particular game modes. And I think that's something they're going to continue to do with Portal as well, because a lot of these game modes, players don't even know they're there, and they're just kind of being missed, and there's a lot of really good Portal experiences inside of the game just in general. But overall, that's pretty much everything. They did make a few changes, of course, also in Battle Royale as well, but a lot of this was bug fixes and some small tweaks. So if you want to read over everything, like I said, that will be linked down in the description. I mainly want to go over what's coming with this update and those weapon changes. I think that's the thing a lot of you will probably be interested in the most. And those weapon changes are going to be interesting because a lot of those guns are really, really popular in the game, especially the NDO, the RPK, and the SG553. And the SG553 took the biggest hit out of all of these. We'll kind of have to wait and see how they work once this update is out, but I do expect these to be a little bit harder to control at range when it comes to recoil. Leave me a comment with your thoughts. If you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.